If you're a lineman in charge of keeping the lights on, Grainger understands that you go to great lengths, and sometimes heights, to ensure the power is always flowing. Which is why you can count on Grainger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery, so you have everything you need to get the job done. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Unlock your dream property with Meeks Realty Group, where Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality. Whether it's residential or commercial, we've got Charleston to Huntington covered. Your key to exceptional real estate experiences start here. Meeks Realty Group. Contact us at meeks.us.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
Had a good Tuesday morning to you. Welcome to the show. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. We do the show from the Jared Construction Studios. Right on time, right on budget. Visit jared-construction.com. Phone calls to the show, a service of Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly. Spring Street, Charleston. Texting service are provided by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony the Taylor of Virginia Street. Get ready for the mouth and ears with Tony's fresh selection of WVU Johnny O polos, quarter zips, sweatshirts, rainwear, button-ups, and more. Visit Tony the Taylor's Facebook page or bestmastertaylor.com if you'd like more information. Tuesday edition of the show coming up. We are going to be kicking off soon one of the premier events that we do every year here at WVRC Media Charleston. Not just Charleston, but all over the state where we have stations. It's our annual Radiothon, raising money for WVU Medicine Children's, brought to you by the folks at Stike Wealth Enhancement. Robb Reel from our sister station 96.1 KWS is one of the folks that are really behind. I mean, we're all into this thing, but I mean, Robb and Logan and some of those guys are the ones that are really, really doing the thing. They'll actually be going up to Morgantown to give us more details on what's going on there. Actually, I think in person at WVU Children. So we'll talk to Robb about that coming up a little bit later on. Plus, there's several things of the news I want to get to. And your calls and texts are always welcome. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. I want to welcome into the show the Attorney General of the state of West Virginia, J.B. McCuskey. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Dave. How are you?
I am fine. What's going on, man? You've been
Not much. First couple days of school, getting the girls off, getting back on a schedule.
Do me a favor, prop up that microphone a little bit there.
Getting back on a schedule, which is awesome.
Okay.
So,
then what? I know you love to talk about your girls, so I'll give you an opportunity. How old are they? What grades are going?
We have a fifth grader and a second grader. They are both at Holtz Elementary School. And they couldn't have been more excited to get started. And the school's the best. Their teachers are great. And
I thought fifth graders went to middle school.
Sixth graders go to middle school.
Okay, because I know because back in the old days.
Back in the old days, seventh grade is when junior high school started.
Was junior. Were you a junior high or a middle school?
I was a junior
guy?
high school. And to be fair, I actually like that system way better.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like we should be trying to push freshmen together with seniors as fast as we do. I thought the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 worked great.
Yeah.
I don't know why they changed it.
Back in the day when I was in school, it was 7th, 8th, and 9th was junior high.
Yep.
10th, 11th, and 12th was senior. And then I know in my hometown what they did was they merged the two competing junior highs into a middle school.
Yep.
Then they went to the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th was middle school. And then the 9th graders,
which is even
went
worse,
to the high school.
There's my daughter's in 5th grade. She doesn't have anything in common with an 8th grader. I mean, it's like two different species of people.
Yeah.
Were you a Scott Skyhawk?
No.
Where'd you go to high school?
I'm from Logan.
Oh, Logan. Sorry, I thought you were from Boone.
No.
My bad, dude.
Do you want me to turn this microphone off right now? You made me sit all the way at
the other end of this table so you couldn't fight me.
TJ is from Boone County, but he was I think Shermantide or one of the schools. No, I'm a Logan Wildcat, man. Actually, I spent the first up through 6th grade. My family lived in the Man area.
Okay, so you might have been a hillbilly.
Well, but then we transferred to Logan, so I call myself a Billy Cat.
I got
so
that.
I graduated from Logan.
Yeah.
I was in Man with people like Rupee Phillips and people like that of my
There's
age.
a little restaurant down there called Keith's. That's one of my absolute favorites.
Anthony Bourdain went there.
One of the better burgers in the game.
It is. Great hot dogs, too.
They do have a great hot dog.
The Mall Dog, named after his grandmother, M-A-W, the Mall Dog. So thank you for coming to the discussion between Mr. McCuskey and myself. All right, so let's move on. Big news made yesterday. Made not only news here in West Virginia, but I was told correctly you were on Fox News last night?
This morning, but it wasn't actually about our lawsuit. We were talking about some other things this morning on Fox. But,
right.
but yesterday we announced a really important lawsuit against a company called Express Scripts. And what Express Scripts is a pharmacy benefit manager. And we have sued them for their role in being sort of an architect and a key player in the opioid crisis. And a lot of people are starting to sort of learn what pharmacy benefit managers are. But in the coming weeks and months, we'll have a lot more to talk about in our lawsuit. But suffice to say that these folks have sort of weaseled their way into our healthcare system. And since they've gotten there, it's pretty noticeable how much our drug prices have gone up. And they were the only people that held the data between prescribers and pharmacies. And so there was one group of people who was able to maximize the damage by understanding how many pills were being prescribed and to whom they were being prescribed. And they failed in their duty to follow state law, to follow federal law, and we're going to hold them accountable for it.
Now, this is a little bit different for me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because with this Express Scripts service, and we're going to break it down to exactly what it was that they are alleged to have done. Normally, when you see these lawsuits, it's against pharmaceutical companies. You know, it's against the all the big players and things of that nature. But I'm not saying, I don't want to go out, and you would know this for sure. Is this at least one of the first times that a distributor, so to speak? That's
well,
not
these
really
aren't even distributors. What's really interesting
services,
here is
I guess
these PBMs were created as a middleman, and they're all now significantly bigger than the pharmaceutical companies that they help sell drugs for.
Okay,
they're bigger than the pharmacies that actually created them. Right. So CVS Caremark, their PBM is bigger than CVS. And the reason is because our healthcare system, for a myriad of reasons, when we don't have time to talk about this today, but it's so complicated that they sort of were the ones that figured out how to do the paperwork, right?
Right.
And this was maybe 25, 30 years ago that this really came into being. And, when we sued the manufacturers, they said, well, we didn't know who was taking them. Right. Mm-hmm. All we did was make the pills. Somebody else gave them to them. So that was their defense.
Right. Yeah.
And then the pharmacy said, well, we were just filling the prescriptions. The people in the middle who were really bridging that gap were these pharmacy benefit managers. Mm-hmm. And so there's an argument to be made that they're more culpable than anybody.
What was it that led your office to look at them specifically?
A lot of things, but not the least of which was, I spent 8 years in the state auditor's office, which gave me very, very unique insights into a lot of things that the state spends money on. Not a lot of things, actually all the things that the state spends money on. And then also, just in the wake of the election and preparing to take over, we spent a lot of time meeting with lawyers all around the country, asking, what are the things that I should be looking at? What are the emerging trends in some of these sort of large scale consumer complaints? And this one kept coming up over and over and over again. These PBMs, especially in a place like West Virginia, really caused a lot of harm in the opioid crisis. And when we started looking into it, it was pretty obvious that that the state of West Virginia needs to hold these people accountable for what they did to our families and to the sort of hopefulness that West Virginians used to enjoy before the enormous opioid crisis sort of took over our persona.
And look, we all know what a crisis that it was, but if we can rewind back to the mid-90s, is this when we first started?
Yeah, I would say that would be a good estimate. Yeah.
And it was the way that, and it's been very well documented. I know there was that particular series that Michael Keaton was a part of that I thought was very, very good. The actor Michael
our
Keaton.
Director of Drug Control Policy here in West Virginia is the person that was based on.
Right. Yeah. And it's, there was, I guess, we've always had an issue with drugs in our society since the beginning of time, and I feel, not to be defeatist, that we always will. But this was a little bit of a different situation because this was something that a lot of people And especially in West Virginia, where you have a very labor-intensive workforce, and we're coal miners, and we're loggers, and we're steel workers, and things of that nature. You have an injury, and you go to a physician that you think, okay, just like if you have a sore throat or a stomach virus or whatever, you go and you get whatever you need and you go on. This was the first time we'd really seen anything that was coming directly from the people that we think, JB, are supposed to help us.
Yeah, I mean, and if you look back through the documents like from Purdue Pharma, and this is the first time that the drug dealer involved was a federally regulated company.
Right. I mean, normally it's the guy in the corner. You know?
Correct. And so the drugs here were coming from a place where people thought they were safe. And the companies pretty noticeably knew that they were addictive, much more so than they allowed to be marketed.
You go back and look at the memos.
That's correct.
That have been leaked.
It really is disgusting. It makes me physically mad. And almost shaking when I think back at, like, what were they, when they knew, they didn't pause at all. They immediately hit the gas. The minute they figured out that they could make an enormous amount of money off of our suffering, specifically, and you read the emails where they make fun of us as pillbillies.
Pillbillies, yeah.
And they're not just killing us, they're making fun of us while they're doing it. I mean, as a West Virginian or just as a human being in general, that kind of callousness it's just so brutal that it's hard to really believe that human beings are capable of that.
So what happens next?
So what happens next is the company that we've sued is no small endeavor. They will have very, very high paid and white shoe, what do we call them, Philadelphia lawyers around here that will descend upon the Northern District of West Virginia. We're in front of Judge Bailey in Wheeling, and we're gonna beat them down. And
what timeline are we looking at here? Any idea?
It's hard to really say, but these kind of cases take a really long time. And my hope is that Express Scripts will read our complaint, we'll get through some discovery, and they'll understand that this can go a lot easier if they come to the negotiating table and they say, look, we know we did wrong. They are a contractor with the state of West Virginia. Express Scripts is currently a vendor with the state of West Virginia. And if they look at our people and just, they'll say, we think we can come up with a financial package that is compensating you for what happened, and we can avoid a long, drawn-out, miserable situation that's going to end in them losing pretty badly.
And you had a great quote that you did on the interview when you broke this story on Talkline with Wilson and Meadows yesterday, and I don't remember exactly word for word, but basically what you were saying, and I've heard it like 10,000 times since then, which is a great quote on your part. You basically said no amount of money is going to replace a grieving mother with her son, or a son or daughter with their mother. No amount of money is really going to replace that, no matter what they come up with.
But it's the only metric we can use, right? I cannot bring back the life that somebody lost. But what we can do is hold these folks accountable in the only way that our legal system allows us to, and that is to extract enough money from them that we can start to heal going forward, meaning what resources do we need to make sure that this is the last generation of people that this crisis affects? And I think that needs to be everyone's number one goal. Is if we're still talking about this opioid crisis in 20 years, Lord help us, because we got $1 billion in a fund to help us do this. And these cases that we're filing are going to go a long way, I think, to help it as well.
So we had a text here. Somebody asked about going after doctors. And I mean, this has been done, not necessarily, but you've only been attorney general for a short time. But I mean, I can go back 20, 25 years, 30 years ago, maybe 25, when doctors were being busted. Look, I'm from Southern West Virginia. Okay. And we had places down there in the late 90s, early 2000s that didn't even attempt to look like an actual medical facility. It was cash only.
And there were lines of cars down the block.
And there were lines at 5:30 in the morning. There were people down there
from
trying
Ohio,
to
Florida.
But there has been a great effort in going after physicians in this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a task of the United States Attorney's Office. And so the physicians, when you're holding them accountable for this, that is a criminal act. And so the United States Attorney here in the Southern District and in the Northern District as well, for the last 12 or 14 years or so, have been very, very active in finding the doctors who contributed to this problem and finding them criminally liable for the things that the pain that they inflicted on their patients.
All right. So what else is on your radar? You got some other big things coming up. I mean, there's a couple things that are on the horizon. Maybe you can't discuss yet. You and I had a private conversation yesterday. Don't want to, but
Very secretive.
Very
CIA
secretive
stuff, right, Dave?
Yeah.
So we've got a big hearing with the NCAA today. We got 4 players that were found ineligible by the NCAA that were recruited and offered scholarships by our football team. I think what you're going to see out of that hearing today, and we're an amicus, our office stepped in to support the players on the football team there, is that the stories of these young men who were denied eligibility by the NCAA are amazing. And the reasons for their lack of eligibility are scurrilous, to say the very least, if you like that word, which I really do.
I'm going to write that down.
And I feel very hopeful that we're going to get a few of these guys back on the football team because they deserve an opportunity to play. I mean, these are young men who have kids and they have financial obligations, and some of them missed some time because they had to pay back medical bills that the NCAA sent them after they transferred. I mean, it's really the kind of stuff that when you read it and you're like, this is a 23-year-old guy who's trying to finish up school. He's trying to do better for his family. Probably better to err on the side of letting that guy go, showcase his talents, and get in the NFL.
A lot of news coming out of your office. I appreciate you taking time to be here, and we're going to have you back later today on Metro News Midday because in the world of what you got going on, a lot could change in the next 4 to 5 hours.
Well, and we know that when Amanda's here, the interview is a lot smarter.
I agree.
Usually it's tighter.
I agree.
There's less fluff, and
I agree.
It's a better interview for the people, and it's a better interview for me, quite frankly.
I don't even listen to the show when most of the time when I'm doing the show. I don't even listen to it.
It is nice when Amanda's here because you don't really even have to say anything.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I can't get a word in edgewise. I'm kidding, of course. Attorney General J.B. McCuskey.
Dave, thank you so much. Everybody have a great morning out there.
All right, it's 9:23. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Pinnacle offers a 4-phase assessment for your properties: inspection, sampling, and analysis, comprehensive reporting, and management planning. Visit pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can hurt you. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses care for your family.
An official message from Medicare.
I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is $0 and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Adventure awaits on the water. Boating season is here, and Trojan Landing Marine and Power Sports in Charleston has everything you need to make a splash. From fishing boats to family pontoons, you'll find top brands and expert advice to get you out on the water fast. Summer is short. Don't wait. Trojan Landing Marine and Power Sports, where adventure begins. Visit TrojanLanding.com and ride into something epic.
Working full-time but ready to take the next step in your career? Bridge Valley's stackable credentials allow you to take classes, get certified, and build toward a degree, all without leaving the workplace. Get certification in QuickBooks, Lean Six Sigma, and more. Keep earning while you learn. And you may be eligible to go tuition-free with West Virginia Invests. Flexible, affordable, and 100% online. Bridge Valley, stackable credentials for career growth. Enroll today.
Welcome back to the show. It's 9:25. The Bigly Piggly Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text, 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Meeks Rentals and Leasing. If you're a landlord looking for reliable property management services or a tenant looking for a well-maintained place to live, they can help. Visit meeksrentals.com. Text says, so do we not care that the governor and his wife are opioid lobbyists, or at least work for a company who exasperated the opioid crisis, and that company hasn't faced repercussions from the state, says a texter. Welcome to our good friend Robb Reel from
Good morning.
Sister Station 96.1 KWS Superstar Country.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, man?
I can't complain. Sometimes I still do.
But anyway.
Life's been good to me so far.
So we got Radiothon.
Yes.
Coming up.
Ed, we were just talking off the air. It feels as though this has kind of snuck up on us because it's been such a busy summer around here at 1111 Virginia Street East. But we are going to spend 2 days at WVU Medicine Children's in Morgantown, up on top, the Hostetler Center on the 10th floor with that beautiful view of the stadium that seats 60,000 people. I paint that picture in your head so that I can then tell you 100,000 children served by WVU Medicine Children's in the past year. One and nearly 2 times filling that stadium with the number of kids that the Radiothon helps each and every year.
And this is one of those things that we do that, of course, all of our stations here in the building are involved in it, but we had all of our stations around the state are involved in this as well. And it's, again, when we say this, it's not just a tagline, that we're proud to live here too. We're a West Virginia based company.
Yes.
And that means something to us. And other stations do great things, not trying to poo poo on them in any way, but this is something that's really near and dear to our heart. And again, there's a reason why we're doing this for in-state. For many years we did it with an out-of-state, and then we had a great relationship there. But now we're doing something to help kids in-state.
There are great things that are happening at that place in Minnesota or that place in Memphis or New York, LA. There are lots of wonderful hospitals all around the country doing amazing things. But the idea that we have a world-class hospital in our backyard with a level 4 NICU, that's the highest level of medical care for newborns and premature infants available. We're talking West Virginia's only pediatric cardiac surgery program, neurosurgery program for pediatrics. It's the best of the best, and we have it right here in the Mountain State.
Yeah, indeed we do. We're talking to Robb Reels, Superstar Country, 96.1 KWS, about our radiothon. So what's the plan of attack?
So actually, there's going to be a little bit of a pregame for me. Midstate Chevrolet, Midstate Ford, Northside Automotive, they are part of our Cares for Kids Radiothon. If folks buy a new or pre-owned vehicle from them in the month of August, they're donating $100 for each of those vehicles. So we're going to stop by and see them 2 until 4 tomorrow, kind of a little pregame party. And then bright and early, I go on the air 5 a.m. from the Hostetler Center on Thursday morning. And there will be stories of healing and hope. I know sometimes people think, oh, these are so depressing and sad. And there are certainly sad and scary moments. But what I want folks to take away from this, what I hope everybody will take away from this, is the miracles that happen every day, the healing, the hope, the bright, healthy kids with whom we'll get to talk over those couple of days, sharing their stories of what goes on at WVU Medicine Children's.
And again, it's a very good point that you bring up, Robert, because people think, these are all going to be doom and gloom type stories, and there are those, as you said. But man, there's so much hope that comes out of that facility on a daily basis.
Not every story is going to have a happy ending, but we're going to hopefully share as many of the ones as we can, as we have time, that do have happy endings. Amy Daly, who is the president and CEO of Children's Miracle Network, long before she worked for CMN, she was a CMN parent. Her 2 kids, who are now knocking on the door of 30, were preemies at a CMN hospital. And so this kind of comes full circle for her. I get to talk with her. I think on Thursday is when she's going to be in to chat. So even the folks who are doing the work come by this. It's deeply rooted in their souls.
Yeah, indeed it is. And so what listeners are going to hear on the air starting when?
Thursday morning. Yep.
But you'll get things started, as you said, a little bit early tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm on at 5 Thursday morning. We'll kind of ring the bell to start things officially at 6. That's when guests will start coming in, and we'll start having more of those stories. There's some really amazing ones that I've gotten to. I mean, I've got a pile of notes in front of me now that I think you're going to be amazed and astounded and hopefully moved to become a superstar miracle maker along with us.
Give us just off the top of your head, just even if it's not one you have in front of you, give us a couple stories or one. How's that?
So, I've gone through about 12 over the past couple of days, and I think you'll get to hear each of them. what struck me was three of them were accident stories. So when we think of WVU Medicine Children's, maybe we think of those preemies, and we think of whether it's kids like Brayson who just found out they have scoliosis and have to make the trip up and start going to clinics there, or kids with heart problems. But even Chloe's story about being in an accident and her airbag didn't deploy, and her face went right into the dashboard. And speaking as somebody who's had some reconstructive surgery, they did the best they could do. It's the Department of Defense. I mean, this is as good. This is actually better for those of you who can see my face. This is better than what I started with. But just being able to put a child's life back on track from an accident like that. Or there are stories of like Jackson and Zane who were teetering on the brink as newborns, whom you wouldn't know. Sawyer and Mason, a couple of twins. They're just regular 5-year-old boys. If you saw them out playing Pee Wee soccer, you would have no idea the amount of time they spent in the NICU at WVU Medicine Children's.
I mean, there's so many amazing stories, Rob, that come out of there. We're happy to spotlight those for you. And again, we'll call on you as we always do, and we always say you're the greatest listeners in the world. You come through all of the activities that we do, whether it's our sock drops or we just did the Beats backpack attack a couple of weeks ago. You folks always come through for us, and this is what we got, and the business community as well.
Yeah, and you hear it every hour on our stations that we're proud to live here too. We're not just mouthing it. There are some companies that think that devoting a PSA, once a week to something is contributing to their community. And maybe for them that is. But we are roll up our sleeves and get it done. I am never surprised, but always impressed by the way West Virginians come through for West Virginians.
And you'll be hearing on the air again. This is going to be on all of our stations in the building, so you're going to be hearing how you can donate. There's always a text available. There's all that information. We'll have all that out there in the next couple of days.
Text, phone, the text in particular, secure whether you are PayPal or whatever your particular your app for using money. You'll be able to do that safely and securely. There is a way to do this no matter how you move your money.
And look, you can stop by the studio here during normal business hours if you want to.
Yep.
We'll put Tracy to work out there. So our normal business hours, 8 to 5, we're at 1111 Virginia Street East in Charleston. If you want to stop by a monetary donation, that'll be perfectly fine. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's $500 or it's $5. We'll take it.
And the thing I want to stress most about that, every single dollar, dime, penny stays here in West Virginia. It doesn't pay for me to make the trip up there, for me to eat, for me to stay in the hotel. There are folks who sponsor that sort of thing so that we can do this. Every single penny that you bring to the table during our Cares for Kids Radiothon goes to West Virginia kids.
It's good stuff, and we're looking forward to it. And unlike last time you did something, you don't have to walk. We're actually going to give you a station vehicle to get you there, so you don't have to walk to Morgantown like you did last time.
Yeah, about that in my big mouth. I hope that is evidence to folks how emotionally invested I get in these sort of things, that we get into these sort of things, that I kind of shot my mouth off about if we beat last year, I'll walk the check to Morgantown, and y'all came through, and I'm nothing if not a man of my word, but I will be minding my P's and Q's a little bit better this time, and maybe I won't say anything quite so, what's the word, foolhardy. Let's go with foolhardy.
Foolhardy, as my grandmother used to say in that typical, from Wyoming County dialect that she had. Don't let your mouth write a check that your blank can't cash. And that's basically what you did. But you cashed it.
A great big comically large check. Or as my grandmother would have said, actually did say to me in her Manglish once, you ain't the sharpest taco on the tree, is you?
Exactly. Right. So, again, we'll get things started. You're going to be up at Midstate
Chevrolet
tomorrow. And that's a great promotion that they're doing, $100 on
every vehicle.
Every vehicle that they sell. And what was the time frame on that?
I will be there noon until 2. Let me check that. That is 2 until 4 tomorrow.
And then you want to just head up to Morgantown from there, I guess?
Yep. So a little pregame with Tim and the folks at Midstate Chevrolet.
They're good. They're great people.
They are. I-79, exit 67 in Flatwoods. And then it's on to Morgantown, and it's bright and early. Thursday and Friday mornings will be up real early, up on top of WVU Medicine Children's.
Rob, be safe out there, and watch your mouth this time. Watch your mouth. Because the thing about a promotion like that is that you got to top it. So, you walked to Morgantown last fall and you survived that. We checked in with you every day here on the show. You survived that. So just watch it, man.
Today's excellence is tomorrow's expectation.
Rob Rio from a sister station, 96.1 Superstar Country, KWS. Thanks a lot, buddy. Appreciate it. 24 minutes away from Tim, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Morgan & Morgan. If you're injured, hire Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Rest of the show is yours. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor, text 304-935-5008. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses have been creating jobs in West Virginia since 1997.
All law firms are not the same. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Office 222 Capitol Street, Charleston. Cases will be handled by West Virginia licensed attorneys. The attorney in this ad is not licensed in West Virginia. ForThePeople.com.
I'm Kanawha County Sheriff Joey Crawford. This August 27th through the 29th, weather permitting, our tax division will once again offer a curbside collection service. Pay your taxes from the comfort of your car in front of our courthouse from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. Our tax divisions will still be open weekdays. And you can also mail in your remittance or pay online at kanawhasheriff.us. Questions, please feel free to call us at 304-357-0210.
Football season is right around the corner. Get ready for high school and WV football by downloading the Metro News television app. Watch Metro News all day, including Talkline, Sportsline, Free Guys Before the Game, Metro News Middays, and Hotline. Get the Metro News television app from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. Metro News Television is powered by the University of Charleston, the West Virginia Department of Tourism, Dan Cabot Toyota, the WVHTC Foundation, WVU Medicine, and Trojan Landing Marine and Power Sports.
The latest in news, talk, and sports when 580 WCHS is brought to you by Jarrett Construction. Call 304-344-9140 for more information.
Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
Every Saturday, you're invited to join me, Chris Lawrence, here on 580 WCHS for West Virginia Outdoors. We're on the air live at 7:06 with hunting and fishing stories from all across the Mountain State. Interesting guests give us insight into the outdoors, game and fish management, and celebrate the enjoyment of West Virginia's two most popular activities. West Virginia Outdoors, presented by the Peyton Law Firm. And if you miss us on Saturday, catch the replay Sunday afternoon. West Virginia Outdoors every weekend here on 580 WCHS, the voice of Charleston.
22 minutes away from 10 o'clock. Senior producer Ryan Nicholson in charge of things this morning. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor, text 304-935-5008. But Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, presented in part by Generations Physical Therapy. With 9 practices, all offered extended hours, so access to physical therapy has never been easier. For your appointment, 304-760-5660 or visit generationspt.com. Coming up later on today at noon, Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law, 13 News, and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barrett and me. Going to welcome in to the show West Virginia Secretary of State Chris Warner. Now, all of the county clerks and other election officials are gathering for their annual conference, and this is something that is done every year by code, I believe, with the Secretary of State's office. His office will be there. The staff will be there. All 55 county clerks or their representatives, they all gather for trainings and things of that nature. But there's a lot in the news as far as elections go, and it pertains to President Trump. The president has a real issue with mail-in ballots and voting machines. And the secretary is concerned about the voting machine aspect. He talked about that on this show one day last week when they had him on talking about poll worker recruitment, and also on Metro News Midday, and he's been on Talkline as well. And he's got a concern about the president's executive orders. But he says, talking about Secretary Warner, that he's not as much concerned about the mail-in ballots in West Virginia because of the way mail-in ballots are actually done in West Virginia. There is nothing is 100% foolproof, as you know, but there's some added steps in West Virginia that the other states don't necessarily do. So we're going to talk to Secretary Warner about that. Plus, the West Virginia Chamber of Commerce is gearing up for their annual business summit next week at the Greenbrier. We'll talk to Kaylin George from the Chamber about that. Little programming note, the Talkline boys are going to be there, I think, broadcasting live at least one day of the Business Summit next week. Wilson and Meadows will be there live. They're not sending me to the Greenbrier. There was an incident a couple of years ago that I can't talk about. I'm kidding. But they're going to be there. So, anyway, we're going to talk to Kaylin George about that. There was a virtual hearing held last night, and there's a lot of talk, of course, about data centers and things of that nature. This virtual hearing was about one that is proposed for Mingo County, and we're going to talk about that. There's also another one of these data centers that's being proposed for Putnam County, and so we're going to get into that story. Jeff Jenkins will have the news and more. Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law, coming up at noon today on this and other Metro News stations. 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and me. On this show tomorrow, and I did a little digging on this yesterday, talked to some folks. Thank you to former legislator Rick Staten, who was able to help me kind of put this thing together tomorrow. There's going to be a town hall put on by some local Democrats. The event is Sunday, and it starts at 2 o'clock at the Women's Club of Charleston. That's 1600 Virginia Street East. And we're going to talk to a couple of the organizers about that particular event. And, there's been a lot in the news about town halls here as of late. And if you look around the country, now this is an event we're not expecting any problems at, but you look at some of the town halls that have been held across the country, with good reason. I completely get why some of our elected officials, I've called them into task a couple of times, but I'm going to be honest with you, the way that a lot of these town halls are held, it becomes a safety issue. Well, this is not that kind of event. Okay. They are inviting, pretty much all elected officials to be there. I don't know who's going to show up, but the event is this Sunday at the Women's Club in Charleston. We'll talk to the organizers about that. Plus, your good friend Millie Snyder is going to be stopping by as well. Also, just added to the show, there's an event happening this Saturday, and it's called Bumper Fest. And I was able to talk to a lovely lady by the name of Tootie Taylor a little bit before the show this morning, and they're having a bit of a fundraiser. We're going to get into all that, but there's going to be some WVU legends held at this particular event. Meg Bulger is going to be there, Major Harris, and they're working on a couple of others. So we'll get into that event coming up on tomorrow's show. Bigley Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. Text said it would be awesome if Rich Rod and Pat White stopped by Robb's table to speak and to encourage donations. Well, we'll put it out there. Put it out there. All right, Mr. Reel, if you're listed in your office, you have a request to get Coach Rod and get Pat White to stop by. And again, KWS is going to be there. I think Logan Scott from V100 is going to be there as well. This is one of those things that all of our events, or all of our stations, I should say, take part in. Speaking of big events coming up, I do want to remind you about the annual Paint the Capital City Green event, sponsored by the Marshall University Quarterback Club of Charleston, happening Thursday, 6 o'clock at the Marshall University Bill No Flight School up at West Virginia International Yeager Airport. I'm going to be serving as the MC. Looking forward to that. Marshall coaches Tony Gibson, Corny Jackson, Julie Folks, and others will be there. The new athletic director, Gerald Harrison, is going to be there as well. I have not get a chance to meet Mr. Harrison, but I'm going to tell you what, after that press conference he had when he was hired a couple of weeks ago, he had me ready to run through a wall. I mean, this guy's a fiery guy. He's going to be there. He's, I think, officially went on the job this past weekend, once the ink was dry on the contract and everything. So he's going to be there as well. The voice of the Thundering Herd, Steve Cotton, will be there as well as we paint the capital city green Thursday night. It's always a lot of fun. I enjoy being the MC of this thing. I've done it along with Steve Animal from the Mountain the last couple of years. Animal's not going to be able to be there this year because the Mountain has a live broadcast that night from Fife Street Brewery on Summer Street here in Charleston. So he'll be down there for that. I'll be doing this solo. Looking forward to it. Shockley from the Mountain will be there as well. So we hope that you can join us. There are limited amount of tickets available. As I said on yesterday's show when we were talking to Steve Cotton, If you show up at 6 o'clock up at the airport, you're probably not going to get in. So what you need to do is just look up the Big Green. I think it's marshall.edu/Big Green. You can get tickets there because they are going quickly. This thing sells out every year. My good friend Chef Paul is going to be providing the food. Plenty of food, plenty of drink as we get ready for what we hope is going to be a great season of Marshall University sports. And again, it's Paint the Capital City Green. Thursday night, 6 o'clock up at the Bill No Flight School at West Virginia International Yeager Airport. And those folks up there always roll out the red carpet. Maybe I should say green carpet. They'll have some airplanes on display and more. So if you get an opportunity, stop by and check it out. I am looking forward to seeing you out there this Thursday night. Text says, Dave, President Trump is the best president I've seen in my lifetime. He's done a lot of positive things to make us stronger and bring peace to the world. Thanks. Says the texture. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Husson's Pizza. This month at your favorite Husson's, get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and a big 8-inch chocolate chip cookie, $23.99. Dine in, carry out, or order delivery by finding your closest Husson's at hussonspizza.com. Speaking of food, as I frequently like to speak about, what about that announcement yesterday that former Charleston Mayor Danny Jones, a regular on the show, I try to have him on every Monday, he made the announcement on the show yesterday. He's opening, or should I say reopening, Danny's barbecue stand on Courier. Now, he's actually turning over the keys to the restaurant to a guy from Beckley by the name of Benjamin Knoll, BJ, as he's known. Pretty successful restaurateur in the Beckley area. Going to make his first, as far as I know, his first ventures into Charleston. Danny says he's going to be there every day, and he's going to be teaching BJ the secrets of his famous barbecue, the ribs, the sides, everything else. And I'm going to be honest, as I said on the show yesterday, the sides are just as good as the barbecue, in my opinion. And don't sleep when he has it on that smoked chicken soup. The chicken noodles, the smoked chicken noodles, it's absolutely fantastic. It's set to open toward the end of the week, the first week of September. That's Labor Day week. And I, for one, am looking forward to it for sure. Text says, Dave, there was an amazing moment in Morgantown back on Saturday. A member of the Mountaineer football team, after practice was back on Saturday, co-head strength coach Parker Whiteman fulfilled the request of a player of the Mountaineer football team by performing his baptism with his team there with him. Parents, beside yourself, these are the young men you want your children to look up to for leadership and guidance. You heard me talk about this a little bit on the show yesterday, but Mayor Goodwin told me this a couple of years ago, and I believe her now. The mayor on this program said people get fired up about potholes or snow removal or homeless issues, infrastructure, et cetera, but the things that get people fired up the most, and this is not exclusive to Charleston, it happens everywhere, trick or treat and Christmas parades. Remember all the controversy over the Christmas parade? And there's people, the Christmas parade used to be held in Charleston on Saturday afternoon. They moved it to Thursday nights. People got all upset about that. Well, apparently the big outrage, and Danny and I talked about this a little bit yesterday, the big outrage over the last couple of days in Kanawha County, the county has made the decision to do their trick-or-treating on Thursday, October 30th, instead of Friday the 31st, which is actually Halloween night. And they did so, from what I have read, as to not compete with high school football. And people have lost their collective minds over this. I am serious about this. This is what we have to worry about, I guess. And as I pointed out yesterday on Midday, there is no trick-or-treat police, parents, grandparents. Your kids can trick-or-treat anytime they want. They can trick-or-treat in April. If they can go on Christmas Eve if they want to. It doesn't matter. So if you want to, send your kids out on Halloween night. Send them out on Halloween night. Do whatever you want. I guess it kind of makes me scratch my head sometimes. And you know what else makes me scratch my head from time to time? I was reading last night on one local community here in the area and how they plan to handle traffic flow when school starts. Now, it's already started, of course, here in Kanawha County, but this was in Putnam County, which I think school starts in Putnam County on Thursday, I think. And I thought to myself, If only there were a way to safely transport kids to a school that didn't involve parents or grandparents actually taking the kids to school. If only we had a way to get kids to school, maybe some large mode of transportation, maybe, I don't know, maybe yellow in color. If only we had a way to do that. What an interesting concept. 9:51, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Bridge Valley, offering custom-tailored trainings to supply skilled graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Visit bridgevalley.edu. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony V. Taylor text, 304-935-5008. I do want to mention that you can always reach out to me on social media, Dave Allen Radio on Facebook or at Dave A70 on X. Going to take a break. Back with more after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses are small businesses with big impact, including Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness.
Earn more with 4 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 4%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by one of the 8 Poca Valley Bank locations today. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter.
Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
I'm Doug Leach, founder and CEO of Ascension Recovery Services. We've done a number of projects with Jarrett Construction. Finding people that really care about what they do and care about what we do is pretty unique. In Jarrett Construction, they care. They're really, really good people. Good people do the right thing, and they're very skilled. They have all the qualities that make up just a perfect construction partner, and they just build us a phenomenal building.
Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
Football season is right around the corner. Get ready for high school and WV football by downloading the Metro News television app. Watch Metro News all day, including Talkline, Sportsline, Free Guys before the game, Metro News middays, and Hotline. Get the Metro News television app from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. Metro News Television is powered by Dan Cabot GMC, Gomart, Lou Wendell Marine, Stike Wealth Enhancement, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and Poca Valley.
I pick up litter at the neighborhood park.
I volunteer at my local food bank.
I help build homes in my community.
No matter where you are in West Virginia, there's always a chance to be kind. That's because every mountaineer is a volunteer. Help us make a difference during the National Day of Service on September 11th. Visit volunteer.wv.gov to find an opportunity near you. Brought to you by Volunteer West Virginia, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Welcome back to the show. It's 9:54. Story posted at WVMetroNews.com this morning. 2 Kanawha County deputies injured last night while trying to serve felony warrants on a suspect in Cedar Grove. It happened last night around 7 at the Gomart in Cedar Grove. Deputies trying to serve the warrants on the suspect, the person that apparently jumped into the creek to get away from cops. According to one report, one of the deputies was said to have slid down the hill trying to find the suspect and is believed to have broken both legs. The other deputy said to have also been injured. Police still looking for the suspect. Story posted this morning, WVMetroNews.com. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Birds kick off a long road trip tonight at Staten Island, followed by a series against York and then High Point. Matter of fact, they won't return to Gomart Ballpark until 1 week from Friday, as they'll kick off the Labor Day weekend with a series against Gastonia. For tickets, Birds merchandise, promotion schedules, and more, visit dirtybirdsbaseball.com. They are expected, I think, today. I think there's a presser today to announce what's going to happen with the Salango Law Light tonight. It is continuing, and I had some conversations earlier in the day with County Commission President Ben Salango, and I think we're going to try to have he and Jill Guerin of the Dirty Birds on the show on Thursday to talk about Salango Light the night. Texas Thursday nights are middle school football nights. Well, every night is something. You know, it's Thursday night is middle school night. Friday night is high school night. Then they said, well, we don't want to do it trick-or-treating I'm talking about on Saturday night because people are out partying and whatever. Don't want to do it on Sunday night because that's a church night. Wednesday night is also a church night. So that leaves Monday and Tuesday. And again, that's not going to make some people happy either. You can't make everybody happy. Text says, Dave, they don't want the football stands to be empty. That's the reason for the dumb decision to have trick-or-treating on Thursday while Halloween is on a Friday. This isn't Texas. High school football comes after trick-or-treating, says a texter. Text says, let's all send the kids to Dave Allen's house on Christmas Eve to trick-or-treat. Well, we don't allow kids in our neighborhood. So that won't happen. Not an issue in my neighborhood. Text says, Dave, as a former school administrator, you can talk until you're blue in the face. Nothing ever stirred up parents like changing the Halloween party's time, day, costume restrictions, or route of a parade. Yes, you are right. You are right. A situation happened last night. We had a car crash through a building on the west side here in Charleston. I'm told that the driver crashed through a window and then fled the scene. Now, that information actually didn't come from police. That info actually came from a coworker of ours here at 1111 who drove by it, and that investigation does continue. But Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Live Healthy West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine. It's a podcast promoting healthier lifestyles in the state. Check out the latest episodes, WVMetronews.com. Under the podcast menu, get your journey toward better health started today. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaler text 304-935-5008. Look who's here. It is our good friend TJ Meadows, co-host of the award-winning Metro News Talkline program. How you doing, man?
You just want people to put their kids on the bus. Yeah. Just put them on the bus.
Or just do away with buses. One way or the other, because my tax dollars are paying for it.
So I actually get a check from the county school system because my kids don't use the bus. I don't know why that is. It has something to do with my kids go to a private institution. I get a check. I didn't know what it was. I didn't cash it for the longest time. I made a call to the board's office. It's legit.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You live in Putnam County.
I do.
You're telling me
that
Putnam County schools. Okay, I guess they're reimbursing you.
Yeah,
I guess
that's what they're doing because I don't know.
Well, then I should get a check for not having kids. I mean, Ryan, can you look into that for us?
I was just really trying to get you going.
From the legal
it's not a lot of money. It's like $25 or something. But I mean, I get a.
Well, then I should get a check for not having kids because my tax dollars are going, and I don't get anything. My cats don't ride the bus. My cats don't leave the house.
Well, I mean, I thought it was a hoax at first. And then I got another one, and so finally I called somebody, and they're like, I didn't press for a deeper answer, but yeah, they're legit. It has to do, your kids don't ride the bus, and I didn't dig deeper after that.
All right. I'm going to have to reach into the legal department here, or unpaid legal advisor for Metro News, Harvey Payton. Mr. Payton, if you're listening, you or Tom Payton are listening. I want to look into this. I want my money.
I shouldn't have said anything. You're going to try to get my $25 check taken away from me, aren't you?
No. I just want my $25 check. I want my $25 check. What's coming up on the show today, man?
So big interview at 10:06. We have the CEO of Majestic Care. That is the subsidiary of the Marks Development Group, the company that is buying these 4 West Virginia state-owned long-term care facilities. We're going to talk to that gentleman by the name of Paul Pruitt. They have 55 centers across America that they run already. So we're going to talk to him, try to understand their plan for these facilities. How will patients be affected? How will employees be affected? One of the big questions I have, how do you take an operation or operations that are losing $6 million a year and still make it profitable for you to buy them? So we're going to get into all of that. I'm really looking forward to that interview.
What else you got today?
What else do we have today? So we're going to talk about that incident in Fayette County yesterday, that murder-suicide incident. We'll also have Delegate John Hardy from the Panhandle on what it's like to live in the Eastern Panhandle and commute into D.C. amid all this crime.
All right. Looking forward to it. I'll be back later today with Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law, 13 News, and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and me coming up on the show later today. Back on this show tomorrow, Millie Snyder will be here. More on this Sunday's Democratic Town Hall in Charleston, plus Bumper Fest going on in Sissonville this weekend. We'll see you later. Till then, have fun and love somebody. I want my check.
WCHS AM 96.5 FM Charleston, 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.